Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings and Yahoo for Tuesday, April the 16th. Three-game Tuesday slate today. I'm going to go through each position like always, talk about the players that I like at each position. Of course, I will give my 5 plays for DraftKings and 5 plays for Yahoo. These are 5 players that I do specifically like for each site. You guys did seem to really enjoy the video I made Monday for the playoffs, so I'm going to try and get out as many NBA videos as I can during the postseason because just on the feedback with the views, the likes, you guys seem to really enjoy it. So I'm going to try and get these out definitely Monday through Friday. Might even try and get some out on the weekends as well. But let's go ahead and get started. Just before we do, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. With point guard today, top option here, Russell Westbrook in the matchup with Portland, 10,300. I do really like Westbrook today. I like his price. Pretty much every player on this slate is a little bit too cheap. DraftKings seems to do this every year during the playoffs. They kind of price down every player just a tad bit because there really isn't a lot of value during the playoffs. There's not a lot of injuries that ever happen. So Westbrook at 10-3 during the regular season would be like a lock and load. Even on this playoff slate where everybody's too cheap, I still think he's a really good play at 10,300. I believe he did have a triple-double in Game 1. He did play pretty well. 54 DraftKings points, had 24, 10, and 10, so did get a triple-double. I would say that's probably like a floor game from Westbrook right now. Seems like he's going to give you 55 to 60 DraftKings points on a nightly basis during the postseason. He's going to play huge minutes. Him and Paul George are both going to play about 38 minutes per game. And since OKC lost Game 1, I'd expect Westbrook to come out here in Game 2 and play really well. I think OKC is going to win this game, so I like Westbrook quite a bit today at 10,300. I think point guard's a position you definitely want to pay up at, whether it's Damian Lillard or Russell Westbrook. I think you want one of those guys in your lineup. Looking at Yahoo's point guard pricing, Westbrook's 53, Lillard's 44, so Lillard's $9 cheaper. I still like going with Westbrook there. Westbrook's just a guy that I really want to try and pay up for on this slate. He's the stud that I'm really trying to get into my lineups. And if I'm not going to those top 2 options, it does get really thin at point guard. I guess your next best play would probably be CJ McCollum at 6,400, or DJ Augustine, who is coming off a really good game in Game 1 against Toronto at 5,600. But this is definitely a position I do want to try and fit in either Westbrook or Lillard. I don't really see myself going elsewhere from that. So let's go ahead and talk about shooting guard now. So at shooting guard, CJ McCollum's kind of a play that really stands out here. For value, I really like Will Barton, 4,700 on DraftKings. He's really cheap, very cheap on Yahoo as well. At small forward, he's $14 over here. He played really well in Game 1, and towards the end of the regular season was playing really well, getting big minutes. Last game before the regular season, or last game of the regular season that he played in, 33 minutes against the Timberwolves, 31 DraftKings points. I'm pretty sure a lot of players rested in that game, which he might have benefited from, or maybe that was a different game, but 33 minutes in that game, and then first game of the series, Game 1 against San Antonio, he played 32 minutes and had 35 DraftKings points, got a double-double. I think Will Barton's going to be a guy that's relied heavily on in the postseason, going to be a guy that plays 30-plus minutes on a nightly basis. The Nuggets have kind of shortened up their rotation for the postseason. They're playing their starters more minutes, and I think Will Barton's going to be one of the guys that really benefits from them running a tighter rotation. Should see at least 30 minutes on a nightly basis. I do like him quite a bit at shooting guard, small forward, whatever spot you want to play him. I think he is a really good value today, and I don't think you're point chasing. I think the minutes are going to be there. Will the production be there? I guess that's something we'll have to see, but if he's going to play 30-plus minutes, especially at 4,700, I do like Will Barton quite a bit as a value play, especially like on a playoff slate where there's not a lot of cheap value that you're going to be in love with. And Gary Harris, another guy you could look to, $4,500, $200 cheaper than Will Barton. He's another guy that's going to continue to play big minutes, especially during the postseason. 37 minutes in Game 1. Would not be surprised if he plays close to that again. So he's a guy you could look to for value as well. Like guys like Barton, Gary Harris, these guys weren't playing that many minutes during the regular season. We were seeing like Isaiah Thomas get minutes, Michael Beasley get minutes, Monte Morris get minutes. I think a lot of those minutes are going to start going back to the starters. Harris and Barton, two guys that are really going to benefit. So if I'm going to shooting guard, for me is definitely a position I think I want to try and pay down with either Barton or Harris. Those are two guys I really like. But moving on to small forward, At this position, I do like paying up for Paul George today. He's not a top priority for me like Westbrook is, but if we just look at some of the other options on this slate, other studs to pay up for, you have Jokic at 9,200, you have Lillard at 87, George at 9K. I think I would rank those like between those top three guys. I would probably go Lillard 1, George 2, and Jokic 3. George, though, obviously more appealing because his position is not nearly as deep as like point guard. Point guard's usually a pretty deep position. Not really today, though. Definitely a position I think there's really two good options in Westbrook and Lillard. Center has a lot of good options, whether you want to play Aldridge or Siakam or Canner. Small forward, a position where there's not a ton of great plays. I think Barton's a good value play here. I think Jonathan Isaac's a good value. He played 40 minutes in Game 1. I would not be surprised if he continues to play big minutes during this series. So he's a value you could look to. We're going to talk about Al-Farouq Aminu. I think he's a pretty good value as well at 4,800. So actually, small forward's not as gross of a position as it normally is. But paying up for PG definitely makes sense if you want to go to him. But like I said, there's value I like here. Jonathan Isaac, he played 40 minutes in Game 1. I think he's going to be relied heavily for defensive purposes here in this series against Kawhi Leonard. I think we're going to continue to see Jonathan Isaac play big minutes. So I do like him as a value. Al-Farouq Aminu is a guy that I like as a value. I think he's going to go overlooked today, especially because Isaac is only 100 more. But he's very cheap. He's very cheap on Yahoo, $13 at power forward. I like him a ton over on Yahoo. Still like him on DK, though. We saw him play pretty big minutes in Game 1 of this series, and I think that's going to be something that continues. He's pretty good when it comes to defensive end, one of their better defenders, and you're going to need him to play big minutes in this series to guard Paul George, maybe even to defend Westbrook a bit. So I do like Aminu quite a bit at 4,800. His upside might be a little bit limited, but if the minutes are going to be there, if he's going to play those big minutes at this price tag, that definitely puts him in consideration for me. If you don't want to play Aminu, then Jonathan Isaac for just 100 more I think makes a ton of sense. We'll pull up his game log real quickly. He played 40 minutes last game, had 27 DK points. I think him and Aminu probably score somewhere around the same amount. You probably get more minutes out of Isaac, so if you want to play him over Aminu, you could do that, but I like both guys. Honestly, you could play both guys if you wanted to. If you just really want to go stars and scrubs, you could play Barton, Aminu, and Isaac, and then like play Westbrook, Lillard, and PG most likely. That's definitely a route I might be taking on this short slate. But let's go and move on to power forward now. So at power forward, I do like paying up here, obviously for Paul George or LaMarcus Aldridge. I like LaMarcus Aldridge quite a bit today, 7,400 on DraftKings. He's over on Yahoo, he's at center. He's 32 over here. He's coming off a pretty poor performance in Game 1 of this series, and I kind of hope that keeps his ownership down. He only played 34 minutes, which seems a bit low. Aldridge during the regular season when San Antonio was really fighting for a playoff spot was playing like 36, 38 minutes. So seeing him only get 34 minutes, I guess is a tad bit concerning. He didn't shoot that well from the field, just 31%, only had 8 rebounds. I think we're going to see those numbers go up. He's obviously not going to continue to shoot 31% from the field. He's not going to continue to grab 8 rebounds. He'll be a higher rebounder than that. I think we can see him get to double-digit rebounds in this game. Easily can get a double-double. Coming off 28 DraftKings points in Game 1, I don't think he's very popular today. I do like LaMarcus Aldridge quite a bit. He's going to continue to play huge minutes. Him and DeMar DeRozan are going to be really relied on heavily if San Antonio wants to have a chance to win this series. So LaMarcus Aldridge, power forward and center eligible on DraftKings at 7,400. I do like him quite a bit today. I think Aaron Gordon as well at 6,800 is a guy you could look to. Him, Siakam, and Aldridge all look pretty good in that mid-range if you want to go to them. Then if you're going for value at power forward, you have Aminu and you have Jonathan Isaac, who are two guys that I like for cheap. But moving on to center now and looking at center today. So the guy that I really like here is Enes Kanter. I think he's going to be pretty popular today because he's coming off a really good Game 1 performance. But it makes sense to play Kanter. He's seeing pretty big minutes right now. He's not that expensive on Yahoo, only $25. I think he's a really good play on Yahoo. On DraftKings, they did jack up his price quite a bit. He's up to 7K over here. But I still think he's a pretty good play even at 7K, especially if he's going to continue to see these minutes, 34 minutes in Game 1. Last game of the season against the Lakers, or the last game he played, 37 minutes. Saw 38 minutes against Denver during the regular season. Seems like Terry Stotts has kind of found trust in Enes Kanter, going to give him big minutes. He's been playing really well And we know Canner is such a productive player that if he gets anywhere close to the minutes he saw in Game 1, he could easily go off for 40 to 50 DraftKings points again. He's a great rebounder. He can score, just has a great offensive game in general. So I think Enes Kanter, even at 7K, is worth this price tag if the minutes are going to continue to be there. I like him quite a bit today at center. He's a guy that I'm going to be playing in a lot of my lineups. And if you're not going to Kanter, then you could play Aldridge here. You could pay up for Jokic. I don't love Jokic today. I think I would rather play Paul George, rather play Lillard, rather play Westbrook. You could look to Jokic, though. I think at center, I'm mostly going to be playing Aldridge and Kanter at this position. I don't really like any of the cheaper plays like Ibaka, Gasol, Millsap. I'll probably be avoiding. Mostly looking to Kanter and Aldridge, maybe some Siakam. But I think that's where I'm going at center, guys. I think that is it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Like I said at the beginning, you guys seem to really enjoy the video I made on Monday. Got a lot of good feedback. Going to try and continue to get out as many NBA videos as I can during the postseason. Hopefully, at least I know Monday through Friday I'll get videos out. Not sure about the weekends, but I'll try if I can. But hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you drop a like if you did. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, or you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you watching the video. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Good luck tonight. Peace.